Every so often, I remember that I have this 500 drawing prompts book. But it's not just the 500 drawing prompts, I made it OC edition, which means that the prompts inside have to go towards an OC in some way, shape, or form. So let's get started. I don't look at the prompt beforehand, so this way I could come up with something on the spot, but if I do end up seeing the prompt ahead of time, I'll just wait long enough until the next video so I've forgotten the prompt, so this way it'll be a surprise when I go do it again. As you can see, our three prompts are Fangs, Tattoo, and Family Crest. So I have a general idea of what these three things are. Obviously I know Fangs, Tattoos, and Family Crests. But when it did come to Family Crests, I kind of had to Google up what they look like, just so this way, when I'm making it, I have more of an idea of what it really is, just because I've never really drawn a Family Crest before, so I thought if I got some ideas from online, then it would definitely help me make one. What I did though is I combined the idea of a family crest and tattoo and made that a part of the character's design, and the fangs I decided to do something with an open mouth so this way it could really show on the character. After doing that little idea session, I went ahead and sketched off camera the character that I wanted to do. I also inked him off of camera too, just to make my life significantly easier. Now, for the color scheme, I really wanted to make sure that I put red in here. And I mean like a lot of red, preferably the entire robe, and then still keep pinkish tones around the entire character. One thing that I really wanted for the robe was it to look like a velvet texture. And I feel like the best way to do that is to like really deepen the shadows within the folds of the fabric or anything that is away from the direct light source. I feel like velvet is very keen to lighting, and once you see it in dark lighting, it looks way darker in one part than compared to the light that's hitting it, which is kind of with a lot of fabrics, but there's something about velvet fabric that reflects a certain way once light hits it, that whenever I draw it, I make sure to really deepen in some parts to make it stand out a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the character now, because I feel like whenever there's a prompt, you have to kind of build the character around the prompt, so you get an idea as to what you're drawing. So from the family crest, you can see the name Dorian. The family crest is made up of a red jewel along with a gold outline. But as you can see, it's not a physical item, instead it is tattooed onto his body. This family crest is specific only to royalty within the family. However, this isn't just an ordinary family. This family has lived on for generations and generations, with some people within it living up to 2,000 years old. Simply put, this is because they are vampires. The entire lineage of this family of royals that control nations live amongst the night and have supernatural powers unbeknownst to humans or mankind. Now, although this family is one of vampires, they still have to play by the world of humans. So what does this mean? Every maybe 50, 60 years or so, a new royal has to be appointed. This is simply because they don't want the humans to find out about their lineage. Otherwise, they'd be scrutinized and, well, frankly, hated for being something other than a human. So after every 50, 60 or so years, a new royal is chosen so the humans don't expect or suspect anything strange going on. This is how they've kept their facade up for maybe hundreds of thousands of years. However, the one who's being chosen as the next royal isn't just an ordinary vampire within the family or lineage. It is that of superior strength, knowledge, and basically at the top of the food chain. That's the easiest way I could put it anyway. Once that person is chosen, which by the way, they would be chosen around 100 to 150 years old, they then must go through the painful and excruciating process of being tattooed, or quote-unquote tattooed, with the mark of a royal, which is the Dorian crest. The reason why the process of getting the tattoo is so painful is because it's not any kind of traditional tattooing. Not so much with a needle that goes quickly over the body, just like they do for the humans, but instead, it must be scarred onto the body. So this way, when you look at the family crest upon the shoulder or the neck or anywhere that was deemed appropriate to put the crest, you can see it is raised due to the scarification of it on the body. And because the skin of the vampire is significantly more tough than the human skin, it takes much longer and much more force to put in this tattoo mark. The character that you see me drawing right here, well, although his name is Dorian on the crest, and they call him of the Dorian family, his actual name is Cain. So although within the human timeline of lineage, it would be Dorian the First, the Second, the Third, and onward, his real name was Cain, and he was taken at a young age to go through this long, excruciating process of how to be a royal. And although this is an honor to be picked as a royal, it is also a burden that someone has to carry for a very long time. Because not only do you have to be the royal for as long as a human life would have to be, but now afterwards you cannot be shown out in public anymore. Because in the human world, once a new royal is picked and they die off, obviously they cannot come back. Otherwise, it would not be a human. So they would have to hide within the kind of royal family chambers for the rest of their lives and not see the world as they would want to. This is, well, what they call a small price to pay within the lineage, so they could continue living on and have resources of bountifulness and all this stuff, because once you're a royal, you get the best of everything, and so does the clan that you live in. But Cain, or Dorian over here, doesn't want to just sit in the chambers for the rest of his life. He knows that only a certain generation of humans are going to live anyway, so why doesn't he go out and explore the world? He'll just wait the 100 or 200 years to where generations pass, and he'll be able to go out without anybody noticing him. But the people within the clan think that this is a dangerous idea, mostly because the Dorian face is extremely, recognizable. So now basically Cain has to find a way to gain his freedom back after being forced into royalty at a young age. Yeah, that's basically what I have down for King Dorian over here. Well, at least when I was drawing it and when I thought about it after I was drawing it that night. Sometimes, or honestly a lot of the time, whenever I'm drawing a character, making up a story really helps me visualize their personality, what kind of pose they would do, and overall just how the character is. And I highly suggest trying it out, because sometimes making a story for the character that you're doing kind of further pushes you to not only keep that character within your cache, but to also use them again and then maybe make a small universe of them and their entire identity and stuff. However, some people just don't like doing that. They literally just like drawing characters, and I totally feel that, because sometimes I just want to draw. I don't want to create an entire universe of characters just because. But honestly, sometimes I feel like it's super fulfilling to create something even further than your craft. So yeah, that's my whole thing on that. Now, as for the character design, I really like how he turned out. I did struggle a lot with the anatomy at first, because I was kind of only making a section of the top part of the body, and I was really trying to figure out what I could do with a pose with just his hands and his face instead of this whole big thing. So I ended up with something like this, and I'm really happy with how it came out. I really like the coloring as well, and I feel like I haven't made a kind of character like this, or at least not for a while. I hope the next prompt is going to be just as good, if not better than this, and honestly, I'm kind of excited for it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and remember, I love you. Bye.